And that's it, we're live. Woo! Welcome everyone to the first Shalika Marathon Europe technical hangout for 2016. My name is Renata, I work here in the Shalika Marathon team in London, and we're going to be taking you through our lovely live Q&A session today. We're going to start, as we always do, giving a few minutes for the other participants and teams to join. And I can already see teams posting questions, so thank you. Now, who do we have here on the line today? Of course, you know, our Shalika Marathon Europe Technical Director and personal hero, Gilles Vanier, dialing in from France. Hello, Gilles. And Gilles?
Hello, yeah.
Hello. We also have here also a really famous face and celebrity among all the Shalika Marathon teams, Sarah Engel, who's dialing in from Paris. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
So for all the teams that's joining from now, thanks. Granting Twentag was the first one to post a question. Thank you very much, as always. And they are actually following our pattern, so well done, team. Everybody who posts a question today, as we always do, please include name, team name, country that you're from, and then for Gilles to know exactly how to get back to you on your question, mention if you're a prototype or urban concept car, and if you're planning on running with this specific fuel type. So mention if you are prototype, gasoline, urban concept, hydrogen, so that we know exactly how to address your query. And let me just explain to you how we're going to run this session today, following just the same model that we did in the previous Hangouts. So first, Gilles is going to take you through really important slides to show you details about the track changes for London and some of the most important information about Phase 2. And then we're going to open up straight away for questions and answers. And when you pose your question again, please add name, team name, country that you're from, and together with that, your vehicle type, energy type that you're running with or planning on running with. And then Gilles, can address your question. We can see a lot of more people joining, so we're going to give them a couple more minutes. And while we do that, I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Renata. I work in the Shalika Marathon team here in London. And today we have our VIP guests dialing in from France. So, as I said before, my personal hero and Shalika Marathon Europe Technical Director, Gilles Vanier, who's going to take you through the main technical aspects and, of course, the details about the track. And then Sarah Engel, who is your student communications focal point, dialing in from France. Now we have two questions in now from Polyjou. Hello, team, also dialing in from Paris. Again, when you post your question, please add your name, team name, and country. And then if you do have any questions specifically about your vehicle type or energy type, add if you're running on a prototype or urban concept. And then you should add as well your energy type, meaning hydrogen, battery electric, gasoline, petrol, etc. So let's just give the teams a few more minutes for them to join. We already have a lot of viewers and a lot of questions. So let me just explain again how we're going to run this session. First, Gilles is going to take you through important technical information and track information about 2016. And then we're going to open straight up for the questions and answers. Our goal here, of course, is to address as many questions as we can. So when you do send your questions to us, again, just add your name, team name, country, and then vehicle type, prototype or urban concept, and fuel type. So battery electric, ethanol, gasoline, GTL, whatever it is, CNG maybe, who knows. So let's just give the teams one more minute. And then we're going to start with Gilles' presentation. So here today, I've introduced myself, but once again, I'm Renata. I work in the Shalika Marathon team here in London. You've probably seen me around Rotterdam, and I hope to see you all in London next year. We also have Sarah, who is your sort of main contact and our VIP guest. She's sort of the Europe star, you all know, dialing in from Paris. I don't want to make her blush any further, so we also have here Gilles Vanier, the key person for you to know and to respect, as he is the Shell Marathon Europe Technical Director. So that's it. 5 minutes in, a lot of viewers, a lot of questions coming in. Gilles, up to you.
Okay, I hope you can see the presentation. Welcome in Shell Marathon 2016, and welcome in this session. It will be essentially based on the track update. You have seen no 2 weeks ago the track detail. I know this year we spent more time to provide you information, but before publish something, we want to be clear and sure at the maximum about the information we provide. We have a few updates on the track map and some recommendation about the vehicle and drivers, and then phase 2 reminder. Okay, the track map, finally, Shell Eco Marathon 2016 will be in London, in Olympic Park. As you can see, it's a new, really a new challenge. The track length 2,240 meters.
Gilles, we can no longer see your screen, so if you could just reshare the slides, please.
Is it okay?
Okay, teams, I hope you can see us now. Sarah and Gilles, can you hear me? Here we go. Let's see if we can make this happen now. Can you guys hear me now? So, Gilles and Sarah, can you just let me know if you can hear me? Okay, I can see a lot of viewers. A lot of viewers online. I really apologize. I can't say what was going on. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I think we're
Gilles,
back, finally. Is it? Can you guys hear me?
t'entends Renata, toi?
Non.
Mais apparemment, ça refonctionne, donc du coup, je comprends pas sur quelle conversation. Je comprends pas s'il y a un deuxième hangout qui a été créé, mais moi, je vois rien de changé.
On est toujours live, il y a des questions.
Hello? Any of you can hear me? No?
I refreshed it and I can see you and hear you now, so it seems to be working again. I'm not sure Gilles is hearing you though. Should I call him? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Guys, I really apologize. We're not really sure what's going on, so we will have to readdress this. Please don't. Okay, Gilles is off. Sarah, can you hear me? No.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We still have a lot of people on the call, so thanks everyone who was persistent enough to stay in. Well, I can see the numbers coming back up. Thanks everybody. I have no idea what went wrong. We've been in the same place, same location. Gilles, can you hear us now?
Yes. You hear me?
Perfect. I don't think we'll have any more issues. We still have 60 plus viewers. Thanks everybody who stayed in. Sorry if you could just let the teams know on Facebook that we're back up and everything's fine. I will of course re-edit the video that we live on YouTube. Now, to the ones that joined in the beginning, thanks for everybody who stuck around and to hear us. For everybody who is dialing in now, who is able to see us now, really apologize for this. I don't really know what's going on. I'm not really an IT specialist, but you still have time to submit your questions. Let's just push this back a little bit in about 15-20 minutes. Submit your questions, including name, team name, country that you're from, together with, of course, your energy type and vehicle type. And now, Gilles, if you could just restart the slide presentation. That would all be fine. We'll get back on track I will edit the video that goes up on YouTube, so that won't be an issue for anybody. Please don't leave us if you're watching. I'm pretty sure you'll find this session useful. Again, Gilles is going to take you through some slides with track information and really valuable information about phase 2. The good thing is I haven't missed any of your questions, so if you have submitted questions in the beginning, I still have them all, and we're going to try and address as many questions as we can. If you do have any colleagues or any friends that you're aware of that were connected in the beginning, please let them know that we're back on track, that we're back live. Sarah has shared it on Facebook, so going well. Gilles, without further ado, you can share your screen now.
Yeah, you can see. You can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Welcome again. Shelico Marathon Europe 2016. We have some update. Now, as you have seen already 2 weeks ago, the track map is now public, and we have all the detail you need, I think. And we try to do the best to publish something as soon as we have all the detail, because we are in a public environment, and we didn't know in advance before what we published. We had no confirmation about all the details, the place, the turn, everything around this. It's why we didn't publish something in too early in advance. In regard of this track, I have two main recommendations. One for a list of recommendations for the vehicle, a list of recommendations for the driver, and then a phase 2 reminder. The track map and the Shelico Marathon 2016 will be in London, in Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. We have made a special road, and we have also to create the road in some place. The track map is I feel interesting, but it's really a new challenge for all of you. The track distance, 1 lap, 2,240 meters. One run will be 8 laps, 17.9 kilometers in a maximum of 43 minutes, more or less 25 kilometers per hour as in the past. The distance is a little bit higher, more than 1 kilometer more. The track width 7.5 meters. We will build the track to ensure at least 7.5 meters everywhere, except currently we have 2 points just due to the environment. We are trying to increase, but currently consider as a 2-point mark on this map 6.2 meters. We hope to increase and to have a constant width of the track everywhere, but I cannot make a guarantee today. We have made a topographic measurement. Everything was made by a professional. All the data are accurate and made by professional topographer. You will see you have a number on the track. For each number, you can find the distance and the elevation. The official start is at point 0. You can see a dot line along from 0 to 2. You will see we will create 2 different lanes, a dedicated lane for start vehicle and the track just close to this lane, but just be sure nobody is able to cross the track from start to the opposite of the track to cross the way of one driver arriving. track map elevation, I think the legend is clear. For each point marked on the previous slide, you have the position of the point, you have the distance, and you have the elevation. And in the bottom, in red, you can see the elevation. The distance is every 50 meters, and the gradient of the road at this point. You will face a new, really a new challenge. The last two tracks for the Sheleco in Germany and in Netherlands were more or less flat. Yes, and probably the level of consumption will be totally different. But in terms of strategy and vehicle efficiency, you have a lot of things to do for this year. Google Earth. On Google Earth, you can find a really relatively accurate view on the track. Just take care. If you try to zoom too much, you will see the previous part of Olympic Park just before it was built or during the building time. Just take care, not zoom too much, otherwise the road is totally different and everything is different. The only official information about the track in London is the one we provide on the web, or everything provided from Sheleco Marathon teams, from Sarah or from the web. I already seen a nice 3D video of the track made by students. It's nice, but it's not accurate and it's not the reality. Please don't use this to make your test or train your driver. It's not totally the reality. It's a great job, but it's not the reality. The detail, all the detail of the track are on Facebook and on the web. And this is only the official data are only from Shell channel. Make sure your vehicle is designed for this new track. The new challenge for this new place is a new challenge for driver and vehicle, and you will face severe descent, climb, and turn. Something for some of you never tried before. Be sure your vehicle is really adapted to this kind of track. In regard of the speed, in regard of the turn, in regard of the stability of the vehicle. It's why the steering system take care of the efficiency without play something logical and something instinctive for the driver. The brake efficiency will be tested before and after each run, as always, but we will take care, especially at the brake. This year, it's always the case, but probably we will improve the level this year. Be sure your brakes are efficient. Center of gravity, it's something critical for the stability of the vehicle. In the past, we had so much team make a rollover just because the center of gravity is too high, and in case of change of direction, quick change of direction, the vehicle is not stable and make a rollover. The vehicle stability is also based on the solidity of the chassis, solidity of the axle, front rear axle. Please take care at your vehicle and build something efficient. The driver visibility is really critical, especially in this kind of track with a huge difference, probably different speed in different position point of the track. Powertrain have to be adapted at this track, especially for the ramp. It's not flat. Probably a lot of teams have to replace the powertrain by something bigger with high power. I don't know. It's a part of your challenge, but it's something you have to think as. The transmission it's always critical. Chain or wheel axle, everything around this must be more critical. You will face more effort on the transmission and the power system. Driver. Shell Eco is not only based on the vehicle efficiency. Just remember, you have three key elements. One is the vehicle, the first, but driver is also at the same level of the vehicle, and then you have the strategy. All of these three key points are critical for you in this challenge. Make sure the driver is well prepared. Make sure the driver knows how to drive on track. We see so much time people not really like a driver that never tried before to drive a vehicle. It's not acceptable. You must train with your Shell Eco Marathon car or with another car, but train the driver in advance. Be sure he's ready to drive a car. Make sure he knows how to drive the vehicle. He must have the ergonomics of everything around, like a brake, turning, steering wheel, all the equipment he needs to manage during running on the track. The driver must know everything in advance. The driver must try the vehicle also in advance. So much team build the car at last minute, finalize the car at last minute or on site. It always happens, but it's not a good way to have a result and to have a safe driver on the track. Be sure the driver can test the car before and know the car in advance. Listen to driver's comments and update, modify the vehicle in regard of the comment of the driver. He is the person inside of the car. He has the feeling of the car. And you must learn what he said and try to update in regard of increase the ergonomy for the driver, the efficiency of the vehicle. The horn must be efficient, always something critical, but with a huge, something we can expect, huge difference of speed between cars on track. The horn will be critical as ever, and the visibility again. Visibility, horn, and driver ergonomics are really critical this year with this new challenge and this new track. Phase 2. Phase 2 is now open. The technical documentation required in the Phase 2 is described in Article 58. You will see what kind of documentation we ask. Selection will be made in regard of the quality of application. Be sure you provide ensure you provide the maximum of details, and your project is clearly advanced and well prepared. We have already more teams than we can accommodate. We made a strong selection in Phase 1. We never had this level of registration. It was already difficult to make the selection, but no, for Phase 2 it's the same. We need to reduce the number. It's too much. It will be really based on the quality of your application and your previous results. Phase 2 deadline December 15. If you are too late, you are already not selected. Keep in mind December 15, and as soon as you have information, please download what you have and start your documentation. If you have just to submit at the end, is the best. And don't forget also to submit. Any application not submitted is not considered like an application for us. It's automatically rejected. And please not at last minute. All team try to apply at last minute and create bugs with the system. Some more information, some important information. Rules Chapter 1 is available on the web. This document must be on your desk for every day. You must read everything in detail, compare with your vehicle, just to check if each point, if you respect each article of these rules. In general, the majority of questions we received, Sarah received and transmit to me, are you can find the answer in the rules. If you just read, you will see a lot of things you have to respect. Tech tips on YouTube. We have a list of tech tips about the battery, about the motor controller, about the safety belts, about the brake, about the door on the body for urban concept. Just go on YouTube, Shell Eco Marathon Tech Tips. You will see a list of video to watch and to see more explanation, more detail about some points of the rules, the most critical. Then Facebook. You can join Facebook. You must join Facebook, and probably Sarah and Renata have some comment about that or give you more detail. Sarah, Renata?
Well, yeah, if you know, that's the main channel that we communicate information on. And it also allows you to see other teams' questions and our answers. So it's usually a really useful platform for everyone. So if you haven't joined it yet, then I strongly suggest that you do.
About about the question, when you have especially technical questions, please send the maximum of detail about what you want an answer, especially like we need the type of vehicle, type of energy, and have a clear question. If you have a drawing to explain what you want to do, if you have if you need clarity about something like steering system, please provide a drawing, pictures, or the most detail as possible. It's easier to give you a clear answer, as only one sentence with few words is not necessarily clear enough to give you the real answer you need. And yes, Sarah and I would say good luck to all teams for this new season. You have a lot of challenge, especially in regard of the vehicle and the driver with this new track. We try to make everything as well as possible. We have not currently all the answer about the venue. We are working strong and hard to define everything. Probably some questions have no answer yet, but yes, go and we are ready to try to answer all of your questions right now.
Merci, Gilles. You can stop sharing your screen now. And first and foremost, I just wanted to thank everybody for your patience and for staying with us, and in particular to some of the teams who kindly told us that they could hear us. So everybody from Felix, Youssef, Polly, Jules, they even mentioned Sarah's, they gave her a little heart, so thanks, team. Team EcoFast as well, Triple X from the Netherlands. Thanks everyone who stuck around and tried to support us through the technical issues. And you could see Gilles was strongly taking you through the same slide pack all over again, but thanks Gilles for your effort. We have loads of questions, and what we'll do, we were supposed to end now, so let's postpone this. We can give you another 20 what we had planned, so we'll come back to another 20-25 minutes of Q&As like we had planned in the beginning, so nothing's changed. We're going to give you again the same sort of time for questions to be answered, and I'm going to try and select most variety of questions. Just trying to address some of the questions that came beforehand. This, of course, as we did before, this Q&A will become a video on YouTube. So we'll share the URL with you, and you can review that as much as you can. We'll also upload the slide pack that Gilles just shared with you already. But just as a reminder, as Gilles mentioned, all the information about the track that we have right now, it is already available on shell.com. So you can go to shell.com and look for that link. And of course, the rules are explained on the rules chapter 1. But I'm sure most of you should have read that by now. Let's start with some questions, shall we, Gilles? Again, if you are planning on submitting any more questions, bear in mind that we do have a lot of questions submitted. I counted more than 60, so thanks, teams. But it might be tricky for us to answer them all. When you do include your question, please, again, name, team name, country, the animation if you're urban concept or prototype, and then if you have any questions specifically about your vehicle, mention your energy type as well so that you can better address your answer. So I'll start with the first ones, the submitted questions. And the first one is not really related to the track or to what you presented, but let's just address that as they were the first ones to send the questions. So Green Team Twente, they run on an urban concept hydrogen. They're from the Netherlands. And their question is, of course, they have two questions. I'll combine them together, if that's okay with you guys. If we know already about Wi-Fi on site, and if a team can win the same off-track awards 2 years in a row. Sarah, maybe you can take these two?
To start off with the Wi-Fi, that's still in the works, but I'm sure the Wi-Fi will be reliable. I mean, we're in the middle of London. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. I think we can touch base on that again later on, probably in phase 3. This is the type of information that you'll find in the participant handbook. And concerning off-track awards, correct me if I'm wrong, Renata and Gilles, but I think you can't win the same award twice in a row. So that's just so, you know, more teams have a chance to win the award. So you won't be able to win the same award 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll, of course, always give preference to a team that haven't actually or hasn't actually won that specific category. However, if you do think that you're doing an outstanding job and you can prove in your application that you've done something different and outstanding that will make your application be much better than all the other teams, you can submit your question. But again, as Sarah mentioned, our preference will be to a team that haven't actually won the previous year. I hope that answers your question. And I will combine two questions because we got the same type of question from Team Ecomotion from France. They are on a prototype battery electric, and also from Team Eco Runner from TU Delft, but it's sort of the same question. Gilles can address them both. Let me just select that question here. Yes, so one of them again was from Team Delft, from Eco Runner Team Delft, and the other one from Ecomotion. And can you tell us more about the road surface conditions of the track? And is there grass on the track right now?
I like to see this question because I was surprised nobody asked before, especially when you had a look at the track map, and in Google Earth you can see the grass, and it's not only grass. If I share in some point of the track, if you are on the map with the number from point 36 to point 6, we will build the road, in fact, as it's in a pedestrian place. If you travel to London, please don't be afraid. The track is currently not like it will be. Currently, it's a grass. It's a pedestrian area with gravels, and the quality is not made for, especially for the Michelin tires. We tested, and the result was destroying tires in a few minutes. We are working to change and to update the quality and make a real road everywhere.
Thanks, Gilles. And I can still see my face on your screen, so that was great. But let's just try to get you back on screen. Yes, that's a bit better. And not that scary for me. So let's try to get a different type of question now from Team Apollo Delft. Not sure if Gilles will be able to answer that, but let's try. So from Sender from the Netherlands, and they are running on a prototype alternative fuel with ethanol. What's the minimum diameter and extended length for the external emergency button? Do we have limitations and specific details on that?
We have not a real dimension of this. Just ensure you have a few centimeters. The main recommendation is just think about the marshal around the track. They don't know your car in advance. They must have something evident to use, and the push button must be act in two different ways. Just to turn off something the marshal is able to push and to react, turn or pull, but not push and push again. It's the main recommendation. But be sure it's easy. It's just make evident and easy to use for the marshal on track. We have no specific dimension, no specific data about that, but just have a look at your car and ask someone you don't know in advance and say if it's easy to use or not, if it's visible and evident.
Merci, Gilles. And now a question from Cam from Team Green Path Racing. They're willing to run on a prototype gasoline. Will it be possible to get more information on the track, such as corner radius or track width variation? And I think actually the sender also mentioned this about the specific width of the track.
You have the distance and you have the width of the track, 7.5 meters. With that, you are probably able to make more detail, but we have no more than what you can see on the web currently. Anyway, the turning radius, the minimum turning radius for a prototype is 8 meters, and all the turns are really more of that.
Thanks, Gilles. And now let me try to get a different type of question. So it's from Muad and Team MC Innov. Do we have to build our own BMS, so for prototype battery electric?
No, you have to build your motor controller, but not the BMS. The BMS, yes, you can. It's up to you. But commercial product provided with the battery is perfectly okay. Just be sure you have all the documentation and you know how it works, and you are able to explain your technical inspection how it works.
Thanks, Gilles. And now a really important question, because that's related to small change in the rules or big change in the rules, let's say. So it's from Felix from Tiger, I think Tiger, team from Germany. They're running on a fuel cell prototype. And is it possible to have solar cells on the roof of the car as an auxiliary power source for the motor?
Solar panels are not more allowed for this year. It was the last year in 2015, and it's no more allowed. Anyway, it was only allowed for battery electric car, not for other type of vehicle. But it's no more allowed, no solar panel on the car.
Thanks, Gilles. And now a really good question, so I'm going to bring this up. Again from Sander from Delft, Team Apollo Delft. Sorry. Will there be any changes to the technical inspection process due to the changes of the track specifications?
No changes. You have to respect the rules. It's only what we do during tech inspection. We will take care probably more. No, you have to respect the rules anyway, but maybe strict with the brake, with the roll bar, with the safety belt. But anyway, it's the same as always. It's not really different.
Thanks, Gilles. And now a question for Sarah, actually, that's more about logistics. So from Aston University, Christian is asking, when will there be details about camping or accommodation for teams?
We're currently working on that. There should be a campsite for the students, as usual. We're just working on getting more details ready for you before we communicate anything. You'll have all the details again in the participant handbook, which I hope should be published after Phase 2 results are out, so during Phase 3, hopefully February or January. But there will be a campsite. I can already confirm that, but when it comes to getting there and all the everything that goes around it, we're just getting all the information together so we can give you all the information at once. So it will be a bit later on.
Thank you. And now another question related to the track from our French team, Paulie Jules from Polytech Nantes, I think. So, Gilles, is the track wide enough to have high speed before the bridge in the uphill?
First, what is high speed? It's not a value, but we will maintain this width of the track everywhere 7.5 meters. In the bridge, we will try to increase a little bit, but as always, if you have a car in front of you and you have higher speed, maybe you need to brake. Just consider the other car on the track. You are never alone on the track.
Merci. And now let's change countries and go to the Shark team from Hungary. They're running on prototype diesel. And a question from Adam is, of course, they're coming to London, so they are interested in the weather conditions. What will the prototype cars do in the case of wet weather? Which, in all fairness, I live here, and I can tell you it's not that unusual. What are the plans for the competition? Gilles, you can remind the teams. That was not different for Rotterdam, was it?
Since the time I work in the Shelico Marathon, we can expect rain from France, in southeast, in southwest, in Germany, in Netherlands, and no, in England. Yeah, we can expect rain. We never had rain for the week. Anyway, the schedule we provide for the event is always temporary, and we can change at any time just to ensure prototype and urban can go on track. It's why essentially why the event will be this year, end of June, beginning of July, to increase the chance of good weather. But we can organize everything we want. The weather, it's not possible to manage in advance. We try to make at the right time in the year to ensure the max chance of sun, but yeah, let's see.
And now let's change continents and go all the way to Africa. A question from Joseph from Team Unilag. They're running on a prototype gasoline from Nigeria. Hello, team, again. So he says that of course, I understand that will be a challenger event before the Shelico Marathon Europe in London. When will this event be When will this event take place and where? Sarah, you can address that one.
So the Challenger event will be organized again this year, just like it was last year in Rockingham. However, this year we won't be holding it in the UK since the main competition is already taking place there. We're still looking at potential places we can organize this in, so there's nothing really definite yet.
We are working on it. We have no confirmation yet. We expect to do something beginning of May in central place in Europe, something easy to have access. But we have detail really soon. We are working hard to define the place and have confirmation about that.
Also, this event is meant for the teams that were not accepted to move on to phase 2. So all the teams that we had to unfortunately reject will have the first invitation to come to the event, because that way they'll be able to keep working on their vehicle, and they'll have direct contact with the tech team and more time to talk about their vehicle and get ready for the actual European event in 2017.
Thank you both. Let's get now another question from the Netherlands. They are submitting a lot of questions. Let me see. I just lost it. There are too many questions. So, okay, maybe let's not do Netherlands right now. Let me get another one. Okay, actually, that's a good point, Gilles. I had questions from Delft and from Carlos. Carlos, I don't really know what country you're from because you didn't mention in your message, but they're all, and I have another question from a French team as well, actually, asking what is the criteria for the team selection on phases 1 and 2? Of course, phase 2 you mentioned is the technical information provider, but maybe you can explain to the teams a little bit more about the selection process.
Yeah, it was really complicated this year. We have echo. Yeah. You heard me well? Or? Yeah?
Yep.
This year, as we received an incredible number of applications, we received 292. Something never happened before. We had to make a selection. We cannot accommodate more than 200 on site for technical challenge, but for the place in the campsite, for the paddock, everything. 200 is really a maximum number. Unfortunately, we had to reject. The first and the main criteria was accept one team per school or university. The majority of team rejected was teams applied for 2 vehicles, and especially if a team, for example, have a prototype last year and without result, or not really ready with 1 car and applied for a second car this year, we say no. First work and develop your first vehicle, then we'll see if you have place for the future for a second vehicle. But the first criteria was the number of applications per school. Unfortunately, some choice was really difficult, but it's essentially based on the number of applications per school, but also in the quality of the previous result. If a team is already in the Shell-Eco since 3, 4, 5 years and never had result, we say sorry, but let the place for another team, for new teams. And it's the complication is to share the place, but yeah, we try to do the best. Unfortunately, some teams are rejected, but they will be again in the Challenger event, the first in the list.
Merci, Gilles. And now just another question about battery electric cars. We're getting a few of them. And actually, let's move regions again. Now, let's get this question from the yellow maroon team from Texas A&M from Qatar. They're running again on an urban concept battery electric. Are there any restrictions on the steering dynamics, like camber, caster, steering angle inclination, or steering toe? And well, they just added another question to that. Maybe you can just say, because I think the answer will be no. But is energy regeneration allowed? Example, regeneration regarding brakes?
For regeneration, yes, it's allowed, especially for battery electric and hydrogen. You can have a motor using like a generator, it's allowed. In internal combustion engine, we consider this like an hybrid system, but if you have a look at the rules, it's allowed. In terms of steering system, please, if you have any idea, strange or not common, send a detailed drawing of what you want to do. Then I will be more able to give you the correct answer. It's just a list of words is not enough to give you the correct answer.
Thanks, Gilles. And now an important question for the teams running on CNG. So this question is coming from Slovakia, from team FME Racing. They're running on a prototype CNG. And the question is, what is the fastest way to buy a CNG fuel tank with pressure reducer, like the ones used in the competition? Are we able to purchase items like that before the Shell Ecomarathon eShop opens?
For CNG cylinder, it's strictly like in hydrogen. You can use anything you want during the year to prepare your vehicle, but we don't sell or let you use the cylinder we have during the event. We provide on site the cylinder and the pressure regulator, but we won't ensure the safe use of this. And to do that, we need to control the cylinder and not let the team use in advance. We don't want to sell something for gas storage for hydrogen or CNG. But the design will be the same as last year.
Well, thank you. Now let's move to a more logistic type of question so that we can get Sarah on board. Team Simeon from Automobilist team from Bulgaria is asking, when is the final deadline for confirming the drivers?
The final deadline to confirm your drivers will be when Phase 3 closes, so you have plenty of time because Phase 3 will close on May 30th, so 1 month before the event. That would be great if you can confirm your drivers by then. Make sure they're well trained and ready for the competition.
Please not change the driver at the last minute if he's not trained to use the car before.
Okay, thank you. Let's just get another question. I think this is a bit of a tricky one, but let's see. That's from Brunel Eco Racing. They're planning on running on a prototype gasoline, and the question is, Article 25, Part C, states that any external appendage to the body has to have a 5-centimeter radius. If a team chooses to run a space frame with an aerodynamic shell, does this rule then apply to the shell?
Please send a clear drawing of what what you expect, because it's just simple. It's logic. The way for this, the rules, these rules is especially on track, not to protect the driver inside of this car, but for the other car around you on track. If it's dangerous, or it can make a danger for other driver, for the body of another car, it will not be accepted. Just please send a drawing or picture if you have already built something. As detailed as possible is the best way to say yes or no.
Thank you, Gilles. And now, as they're submitting a lot of questions, I'll get back to the Netherlands again. Team Apollo Delft, Sander again, and this is a good question related to the track. So is the dotted line on the track map at the start and finish going to be just like the pit lane exit all the way through turns 1 and 2, which teams are not allowed to cross? So maybe we can just take the teams through the start and finish line again.
The dot on the line you can see on the track will be physically separate, not only a line on the floor on the road. It will be track protection like we use for both sides. It will be two clear lines, two different way, with a wall between. Start and finish have a dedicated way, enclosed between two wall plastic protections.
Thank you. And now, actually, we can. I will choose one from team EcoFast or TUFast Eco Team. Sorry, and that's actually related to a question that Schluckspecht. Now that I know how to say that word, I'm really proud of myself. But they've asked if Shell is going to provide any sort of help or support to the teams in terms of transportation of their cars and vehicles. Sarah, maybe you can address that one?
As in previous years, you will still be receiving a travel allowance after the event. I'm not sure from your question if you mean help organizing your transport, but this might be a possibility this year. It's still in the works, so I can't confirm anything right now. But for sure, you will be getting the travel allowance, and if you need any help, you can always send me an email, and I'll see what I can do.
We are working for a new partner, but strictly no confirmation yet, and it's not possible to say something more at this time.
Thank you both, and actually that's related to another question that we got from Tunisia, from Dali, and they said that last year they faced issues with the transportation of their car, and if we could lead them in the right way to transport their car. That question is addressed in the participant guide handbook, isn't it, Sarah? And also you'll be instructed in terms of the deadlines for some shipping their car and sort of recommendations of what they can do. Is that the case?
Yeah, this is really your team's responsibility, making sure that your vehicle arrives on site on time. This is not something that we can really do for you. It's just part of the challenge and something that you have to deal with, basically. So what we can do is give you the correct address and the delay, the deadline before which you have to send it to the venue, and we can also tell you until when we can keep it for you, but that's basically what we can do for you. All that information will be in the participant handbook as usual, but it's up to you to find your own transport. I believe tomorrow we have a conference call with the Tunisian focal point from Shell as well as a few Tunisian teams, so I'm sure we can address this issue again tomorrow with Gilles.
It's for all the team. Not try to do everything yourself, but try to have a contact with the transport shipment company. They can help, especially to prepare all the documentation in advance. Send a vehicle from, especially from Africa, South Africa, Nigeria, Morocco, Netherlands. It's the same for Turkey. Send to Europe. You need to provide a lot of documentation, but try to have a partner like a transport company to help you. It's the best way to define all the documentation you need and to define clearly the detailed documentation.
It's also a good idea if you can communicate with other Tunisian teams and maybe share the costs of transport to London, for example. I know that's what they do in Turkey as well as in Spain and Portugal, and it works really well if you can have a partnership with other teams.
Thank you, Paul. Let's see.
Please. Not last week. You have to start right now to contact the transport company just to know what you need, what kind of documentation you need to provide. It's the best way, as soon as possible.
Thank you. And sorry, we will just be running out of time. So in 5 more minutes, I'll try to address as many questions as we can. Again, just trying to get questions from other countries. So now from Team Range from Turkey, they're running on a battery electric prototype. And their question is actually really important. They're asking if for phase 2, do they have to submit component specifications, for example, the battery value, and I think that's like expiry date, or the motor power, which could be the power of the engine or the motor controller. Gilles?
For the phase 2, you have description in Article 58. It's more about a technical drawing or as a principle of your powertrain. We don't ask for the detailed specification about equipment. First, because maybe you don't know yet, or you will change between now and the event. We don't ask for the specification of everything. We ask for the principle of your powertrain.
Thank you. And again, changing countries right now to team with a question from Youssef from Team Enim, I think Enim leaders from Morocco. They're running on a prototype gasoline, and they want to ask about the battery. Is it necessary to be covered or protected in a specific criteria?
If you are using a lithium battery, yes, it must be in a box. Otherwise, if you have a classic lead battery, no, it's not necessary.
Thank you. And now a simple question that probably most likely it's going to be addressed by Sarah, but question from Toby from Derby Mechanical from England. They're running on a prototype ethanol, and their question is actually about the paddock. So will the paddock area be like 2015? Will there be a building area outdoor as well as indoors?
This year the paddocks won't be inside a venue like it was in Rotterdam. If you look at what the Asian event is like, it will be a bit more like that. So basically we'll be building the paddocks from scratch for you. However, outside there will be, as usual, the welding tent and the test track that you can use as you wish. But everything should be fine and looking good in time for the event, don't worry.
We build a sort of temporary building for the paddock.
Thank you both. Now, another question is actually thinking ahead. Well done, team. Ahead of 2017. So, question from the Dutch team, Green Team Twente, about concept hydrogen, and their question is about changes that will come in 2017 regarding eliminating the secondary electrical systems. Will the power of all systems, including safety measures, for instance, be taken into account in consideration? Gilles? I
don't know what you want to say, but eliminating secondary electrical system, it's already in the rules, especially for what we expect. What we have currently, only one battery is allowed. What we expect to do for the future is probably add a joule meter for any car to measure the electrical consumption, but it's not finalized we are not totally ready to do that, but part of that, no major change. Currently, hydrogen stay with the accessory battery to power all the safety equipment, and no change expected on this way. It's only for battery electric category.
Thank you, Gilles. And now another question from the Dutch teams. Well done, teams. You are really interactive today, so thank you. From Team Eco Runner, or Eco Runner, actually, from Delft, prototype hydrogen. And the question is, will they be using the same flow meters as they did in 2015?
Yes, flow meter will be strictly the same. And some teams have to use a specific one, but the team will know in advance, as you have to provide the 24 volts from your fuel cell or from your battery, but you will know in advance anyway.
Thank you. And I do think we have maybe a couple more questions. So if you do have any questions that you want to be addressed, submit them and you can address them afterwards. But we are sort of half an hour from our original time. So coming to the last questions now, Gilles, from Team Ecomotion, I think we say his name Loac, but I don't really know, so I apologize. From France, battery electric prototype. And the question is maybe more to Sarah. Do you have any more information about the size of each team box? If not yet, do you have any idea of when we could get that information? And thanks for your smiley face.
So Loic, yeah, you guys are, this is a very, I don't know, this is a question you're asking very much in advance. This is also the kind of information we'll find during phase 3. So I see you guys are all very eager to find out how everything is going to look like. I think the boxes will stay the same size as in previous years, so that was 4 by 5 meters. But obviously this isn't confirmed information yet, but you'll also have that information in the participant handbook.
Thank you. Let me just go now to another country. From Greece now, question from Ioannis and from Team Poseidon team from Greece. We are interested in having consumption measurements as close to the geometer provided as possible. Are there any specifications or technical documentations, maybe some similar products or advice on how they could get one? Gilles?
Unfortunately, the Joule meter is something we build for the Shell Eco Marathon. It's not a commercial product. Probably you can find some similar equipment for the what is the name? For the micro model, like a small fly, or you will find something, but it's not accurate as the Joule meter we have. The Joule meter was developed and made only for the Shell Eco Marathon. It's unfortunately not commercial, and we have struggled to. We have already struggled to have some more in stock, as the electronic components are not more available, and we try already to increase our number, and we can't.
Thank you. We're just coming to the final questions now. I'm not sure specifically what the questions means, but from Theofast from Germany. Are there any further restrictions about the battery box as mentioned recently?
It's in the rules. You have the detail of the dimension of the battery box. It's only for lithium battery. It's mandatory for all battery electric, as lithium battery is mandatory in this category. You must provide a box to put the battery in, something a little bit bigger than the battery, and it's to prevent transmission of fire from the battery to the rest of the vehicle. If you are in other category and you use the lithium battery, it's also mandatory.
And actually related to that, for us to start closing, last question from Team Apollo Delft. Are there, or what are the minimum specs for an aluminum sealed lithium battery container inside the vehicle or in the vehicle?
I will check what is. I have no dimension to give you, but send the question. I will check what is specific data.
Thank you, Gilles. And thanks, teams. We do have a few more questions to be answered. However, we have run out of time, and I think even with our glitch a little bit earlier, we've ran like 15 minutes more than we had planned. Thanks everybody who submitted questions. And just to address some of the few items that were there that we were not able to answer, but they were addressed before. Regarding hotels, transportation, what Shell is going to provide, how you can ship your vehicle. We will provide all that information coming later in the new year. Of course, teams still have to be accepted in phase 2 to be considered an official competitor in Shalika Marathon. Sarah has mentioned most of that will be available to you regarding paddocks, team members, accommodation, transport, and the participants handbook, and then of course together with the Chapter 2 rules for Europe. And one thing that you might address now from Eco Runner Delft, and that can be our last closing question, is if there's any more information about the World Championship available.
Not yet. It's currently under the definition. We are working for the rules and to clearly define. But just to let you know, no team have to apply for this. You will be selected for this World Championship. It will be in regard of the result, the on-track result. It's not. It's an additional challenge, but based on the result of previous challenge. You must be the best in your category to have a chance to be selected.
Thank you, Gilles. And with that, I think we close it. 40 minutes in, that means that we gave you an extra 20 to 25 minutes with questions. I really hope that made up for our technical issues. And I do apologize again, I'm not an IT specialist yet, but maybe I should try that for my next hangout. Gilles, any closing notes or comments to the teams this time?
You have a long list of things to do in regard of your vehicle. We try to answer all of your questions, not only technical, especially about logistic, accommodation, and everything, but we know more or less what we want to do. For all the answer we give you, maybe sometimes take time, but because we ask before all the confirmation, especially from the city, or we need permit, we need everything like this. We don't want to provide information we are not sure or it's not totally confirmed. It's why it takes time to give you. It took time to give you the detail of the track. The track will stay like this, but for the paddock, for the campsite, for everything, please wait, and we try to inform you as soon as possible. But we always need the confirmation and permit, especially because it's the first year in London. But I would say yes, to close. Good luck. Make a good job, and don't forget phase 2. It's the most critical for the moment. The quality of your application will be the main point to accept or reject. Please take care.
Merci, Gilles. Sarah, now it's going to be with you. Maybe you can just remind the teams of what is the next big deadline for them.
Yep, so phase 2 closes on December 15th. As Gilles mentioned in the beginning of the call, make sure you submit your work on December 15th at the latest. If you miss the deadline, then we won't be taking your registration into account. And the phase 2 results will be communicated around mid-January, once Gilles has had the time to look at all of your work. So that takes a little bit of time, so I'll ask you to be a bit patient. And other than that, keep the questions coming, and thank you so much for being so active on the Facebook group. I love how everyone is helping each other and communicating. I think that's really great, and it's really specific to our region. So keep doing that, and keep making me proud. And I'll see you guys soon again. And good luck with preparing your project.
Thank you, Sarah. We didn't make it easy for you or for Gilles, who's going to spend his lovely Christmas holidays analyzing applications for from more than 200 teams. So we should all thank Gilles for his time. Now, what can I say? Everything that Gilles just said, read the rules, watch the tech tips, they're all on YouTube. All the documents that you need and all the information is available on shell.com. On that, I have to say the website is going to change towards the beginning of December. And we did try to make it easier for you to find all the information. So I do hope that you manage to find it. Join the Facebook group. If you do anything or any activities in social media, please keep the hashtag STM2016. If you do that, we're able to track everything that you do and able to reshare and give you even more visibility on your activities. Now, we are going to run more of these Hangout sessions. Sarah will post it on the Facebook group, and it will be great to get your feedback. Just don't mention that we had an IT issue today, but you can mention and give us suggestions on the topics that you want to cover and if the format needs to change, so we can do that soon enough. Thanks, everybody. I know it's really late for everybody who's running on CET, almost 8 p.m., and Sarah is still in the office. She's not really happy at me. But thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Good luck to you all. If we don't speak again or don't see each other again, I cannot believe I'm wishing everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, but I think it's time. So see you all. See you, Sarah and Gilles, in Turkey next week.
Yes.
And see you all next year. Thank you.
Bonne chance.
Au revoir.